Welcome to Prime 9, the countdown show that covers the very best in baseball. Guaranteed to start arguments, not end them. In this episode, it's the 9 most unique in-game feats. Why 9? That's baseball. 9 players, 9 innings. Prime 9. So what do we define as an in-game feat?
You'll go a long time before you see that. On back-to-back at-bats, 2 players just hit their 300th career home runs.
Well, it had to take place in the course of one day.
An unassisted triple play.
But you won't see any 20 strikeout games in this show.
He ties the Major League record.
Or a quartet of home runs.
4 consecutive home runs, and the Dodgers have tied it up again.
Not even 4 by one player in a single game.
It was May's day in Milwaukee as Willie found his page in the record book.
For our in-game feats are so rare, they have never been equaled in the modern era.
There it is, folks, baseball history.
And it didn't hurt if they were a little quirky.
The fans have been waiting for Greg to do it.
So here are the most unique in-game feats, beginning with number 9 on Prime 9.
Now, Joel Youngblood's Tale of Two Cities.
Joel Youngblood was a versatile player who did make an All-Star team in 1981.
From the New York Mets, outfielder Joel Youngblood.
But Joel is best remembered for that Tale of Two Cities the following year.
We were playing the Cubs at Wrigley Field. I was playing center field. I had a base hit. I knocked in 2 runs.
Youngblood went 1 for 2 against the Cubs, also collected a couple of RBI.
I was taken out in the 4th inning and stunned.
It was, one of those moments in baseball you kind of shake your head and what the heck's going on.
You see, Joel was traded during the game and went from being a Met to an Expo.
I had a feeling I was, the last year of my contract, I was going to be traded, but I didn't realize I would be traded in the middle of a game.
So he left that day game in Chicago and flew to Philadelphia, where the Expos needed him for their night game.
We always thought that, once you get traded that very day, normally you'd let you sit out to get acclimated to the new team and stuff. But evidently they was in desperate need at that point, so they put him right in the fire.
Even though Joel got to Philly in time, his name wasn't in the starting lineup. But that didn't mean he wouldn't play.
Comes down, puts his uniform on, he's sitting on the bench, and the next thing you know, they say, Joel, you're going to pinch hit, and he goes up and gets another base hit.
There, he promptly delivered a hit for the Expos.
And that's something that's a record.
That's right. Joel became the first player ever to get 2 hits for 2 different teams in 2 different cities on the same day. And what makes it even more amazing are the pitchers he faced.
What I find really cool about it is that he got his hit off Ferguson Jenkins in the afternoon and Steve Carlton at night. He got hits off 2 Hall of Famers. They weren't Hall of Famers yet, but if you look back, it's really a better feat now than it was when it happened.
Pitcher Greg Harris appeared in 703 games during his 15-year career. But it was what he did in number 702 that made for a most memorable in-game feat.
I remember talking to some guys with the Expos that Greg Harris has been practicing to be the first guy to pitch from both sides in the game.
We might see it tonight, him pitching from both sides of the plate.
A natural righty, Greg learned to pitch with his left hand in the mid-'80s, but he'd never pitched with both in a real game until now.
He had talked to Felipe, if the situation presented itself, could I do it? And he gave him permission to do so.
Listen to this. The fans have been waiting for Greg to do it.
What I really wanted to do was be in a game, throwing right-handed, and all of a sudden change out of nowhere, just for that element of surprise, even though everybody in the baseball world knew I could throw left-handed and right-handed, but the glove kind of gave it away.
Well, he's got a glove that they call it a 6-finger glove. He specially made, can turn it on and put it on his right hand or his left hand.
And Harris is putting the glove on the right hand, so he'll enter the record books tonight.
That kind of just sent the chills down my body to realize that, okay, the opportunity has come.
A left-handed delivery. The good news is he's doing it. I don't know, Greg, whether we want to show this on a replay, but you're going to have to live with it.
What people don't know about that is how nervous he was. We actually thought he would do a lot better, but we were kind of excited to see it.
First time in this century a pitcher has done this.
Hal Morris worked a walk-off him, and I remember myself getting up there.
There's the strike.
Kind of embarrassing. He's not really a left-handed thrower, that he turned around to the other side, and I didn't hit it very far off him.
It's going to kick fair. Siddall out, down to first, and he gets an out.
You know, it's good to be a part of something historical, and it was fun.
And now he'll put the glove back on the left hand. He's getting into the books no matter what tonight.
Greg was the first man in modern Major League history to switch pitch in a game, and he remains the only one. On July 18th, 1990, Boston and Minnesota set an American League record with 10 double plays in the game, the bulk of which were turned by the Twins.
And that's 6 for the Minnesota Twins.
But it's what Minnesota did the day prior that earned them a prime 9 spot.
0-0 game in the bottom of the 4th.
For a game to be as tight as it was, and that's an extreme rarity, simply because there is never a time that you don't expect an offensive outburst at Fenway Park.
All of a sudden, Erickson kind of losing it here.
It was a really close ball game, and the situation has to kind of determine what you're going to do. I like to play aggressive defense. I looked over at Al playing second. I said, listen, if the ball's hit down the line over here, I'm going to step on third and throw to you. And sure enough, the ball was hit right down the line.
Third base. 1 there, 2 there, and a triple play. Holy mackerel, the Twins have just rolled off a triple play on a perfect ball for Gaetti to do.
And it was like, you know, we had planned it.
Triple plays are indeed rare, but what happened later in the game made this day one to remember. For once Boston put 2 men on with nobody out, it was time for a little deja vu.
They go, and Gaetti has 1, they got 2, and they've got another triple play. Mercy me.
My gosh, we're seeing the same thing again.
Is there a full moon tonight? 2 triple plays.
It was almost like it was a replay.
Even with the runners on the move, Red Sox trying to play some hit and run, they still get the same kind of triple play. Unbelievable.
Then, of course, we all scurried to the record books.
You wonder why they're yelling? This Major League history has been made tonight.
So in the course of 2 games, the Twins got 18 outs on 8 pitches. But it's the 2 triple plays in 1 game that puts them all alone in the record books.
Didn't really think about it at the time, you know, but now that you look back on it, it's never been done before. That was special.
The year was 1990, and Ken Griffey Jr. was a rising star on the Seattle Mariners.
Griffey leaps high in the air, and he's got it! An incredible catch by the kid!
That same year, Jr.'s father was released by the Reds and signed days later with Seattle, creating the first father and son tandem to play for a big league team.
You should be Junior. I was here first. You should get Senior. I've been around a lot longer. You should get Junior.
When Senior got to the team, I couldn't wait for them to take the field. I couldn't wait for them to get on base together.
The great thing about the Griffeys, it's not like a father-son relationship. They're more like brothers.
They were always competitive. They were always having fun. A lot of times, a ball would be hit in the left center field, and Ken would just wait to the last second to walk in front of his dad to snatch it. That was the type of fun things that they did.
What the Griffeys didn't know is that they were about to perform an in-game home run feat for the ages.
He didn't think his dad could hit, but I told him, I said, you know, hitting in front of him was a pleasure because all I seen was fastball.
Fly ball sliced to fairly deep left center field. Devo White back to the track, and the old man has done it one more time.
He hit the home run. He's running around the bases, and I'm just looking at him. He touches home plate, and he says, that's how you do it, son, and runs off.
Junior knew exactly what he was doing. He went to the plate trying to hit a home run.
3-0 pitches hit deep into left center field, and father and son have hit back-to-back home run.
Couldn't wait to get in the dugout. He made sure I shook everybody's hand first, and then he came up to me and he said, you know what we just did? I go, you hit a home run? I hit a home run. He goes, yeah, but it's back-to-back. And it was just the smile on his face. I mean, he was a dad the whole time.
That's a lot of fathers and sons' fantasies have come true.
No doubt.
Until this moment, I think it's still one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
For Junior, it was probably the pinnacle of his whole career. And I know he's a guy who's hit 600 home runs and he's on his way to the Hall of Fame. But that is one thing that he'll always treasure.
This Seattle home run theme reached still another level in Chicago.
May 2nd, 2002 was one of the greatest offensive explosions by 2 guys that everyone's going to remember forever.
Boone sends a high fly ball to deep right field. Ordonez to the track. The wall, fly away.
when Brett hits a home run first and Mike hits it in a second.
Into deep center field. And that ball will fly away.
You know, you think, yeah, it's, you know, back-to-back home runs are pretty cool.
But it would get even cooler, for the inning was far from over, and Brett Boone once again stepped to the plate.
Well hit deep to right field. Goodbye, baseball. Brett Boone with his second two-run homer here in the first inning.
And you go, wow, that's kind of weird. Wouldn't it be pretty cool if Mike would hit a home run, you know, and be back-to-back, and they did it.
Swing and a drive deep to center field. Holy smokes, he did it! Boone and Cammy go back-to-back.
Sitting there as a broadcaster and it's happening, you think, this is unbelievable.
Wow, I've never seen that.
The Mariners just exploded for all these runs. The White Sox were shell-shocked.
Early on in that game, we knew, like, this game's over. And I think at that point, you kind of sit back and see what's going to happen.
What happened was Mike Cameron continued his long ball barrage in his next two at-bats, with home runs number 3 and 4 in the game.
Deep center field to the track, to the wall. Cameron has done it. My, oh, my.
But while 4 home runs in a game is amazing, the fact is 15 players have accomplished that feat. It's what took place in the first inning we may never see again.
Wow. Back-to-back, 2 guys, twice in the same inning. Unbelievable.
High atop the baseball record books are men who throw no-hitters.
It's a Rocky Mountain high and a no-hitter.
Out of all those pitchers, Wes Farrell and Earl Wilson are the only men to hit 1 home run during their no-hitter. But it was Rick Wise of the Phillies who outdid everyone.
This is Jim Simpson back at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati.
It was 1971, and Wise was in enemy territory, facing an emerging powerhouse called the Big Red Machine.
To think of the lineup he faced in that game: Tony Perez, Pete Rose, Dave Concepcion, George Forster.
You're thinking that, well, somebody got to get a hit. It was a good, well-pitched game. He had the good timing and also location.
Inning after inning, Wise baffled the Reds, but he wasn't content to just pitch a gem.
I tried to be a complete pitcher, complete player. You've got to help yourself with the glove and the bat to help the team.
So Rick hit a home run in the 5th inning. What happened next all but defied belief.
We're in the 8th inning, and Wise will lead off.
I just happened to get a couple pitches that I could hit for distance.
There's a well-hit ball, deep left field. That might go. It is a home run for Rick Wise's second of the game. And what a story this is. He is putting on quite a show here tonight. You can't pitch any better, and you can't hit any better.
Rick Wise went on to finish what is arguably the single most complete performance by any player in any one game.
Swing a line drive, he did it! Vukovich made the throw, Wise has done it! A no-hit, no-run game!
That's something that's never happened before in a major league game and probably will never happen again.
For a pitcher to hit a home run in a ball game, let alone hit 2 home runs and pitch a no-hitter to boot. You never like to lose, but a great performance is appreciated, and it was fun to watch.
I'm very proud. I donated the bat, the ball, and the glove to the Hall of Fame. That's there forever. That was my day in the sun, so to speak.
Few things in baseball are more exciting than a grand slam.
In a long one to left. It's gonna go. It's a slam.
No one has hit more grand slams than Lou Gehrig's 23. But not even Lou ever hit 2 in one game, much less 2 in one inning.
Fernando was a pretty good home run hitter at that time, hitting for a lot of power, driving in a lot of runs.
Still, Tatis had never hit a slam in his career. Then, let's just say, he parked one.
Fastball, and it's a grand slam. Woo!
Oh, dear. Tatis, tap 2.
The Cardinals lead it 4-2.
But the Cardinals didn't stop there. Scoring 3 more runs in the inning off a beleaguered Chan Ho Park.
Boy, it's a tough night for Chan Ho. A nightmare.
And before he knew it, Tatis was back up with the bases jammed.
I think my first reaction was, how can Fernando Tatis be up in the same inning again with the bases loaded against the same pitcher?
Third baseman, number 23, Fernando Tatis.
We were all like, man, how neat would it be, to see someone hit 2 grand slams, have 8 RBIs in one inning.
Come on,
Fernando, do it so we can have everybody scrambling and going through the record books out here.
It was not really crossing to my mind just to hit another homer. Chang-Ho Park is one of those toughest guys to face, so I just want to try to get a good contact with the ball because I have 2 strikes.
Breaking ball hit into deep left center. We might see something historic. 2 grand slams by the same player in the same inning.
And the fans here at Dodger Stadium are giving him a standing ovation.
We didn't believe it.
Now that is something to remember.
And after that initial shock, everybody just went nuts. I mean, a lot of noise in the dugout.
Records are made to be broken, but that is one record that might not be broken. That was an unbelievable feat, to say the least.
You know, every time I come to the ballpark, I think, you know, over these years, I guess I've seen everything. Wrong.
El Perfecto! There have been 20 official perfect games in baseball history.
A perfect game by Mark Burley!
Which makes the saga of Harvey Haddock so compelling.
Harvey was very, very consistent. He threw strikes.
He didn't throw real hard, but he had great control with all his pitches.
Harvey wasn't a pitcher who was going to pitch every 4th day for you, but boy, when you put him out there with the proper rest, he could shut anybody down.
And in May of '59, he delivered a performance never seen before or since.
He had a good fastball, a good hard slider, and he put in good position.
He said that he felt if you put a cup of coffee on each side of the plate, that he was so sharp that night that he could have hit the cup on the left, he could have hit the cup on the right.
The innings flew by and Haddock was pitching perfect ball. But while his opponent, Lou Burdett, scattered some hits, he didn't give up a run.
I don't know, maybe we were just trying too hard to get a run somehow, and it just wouldn't happen.
Incredibly, Haddock remained perfect through the first 12 innings. Then, in the 13th, Felix Mantilla came to the plate.
The first ball was hit to Hoke, and he booted the ball. That was their first runner.
Eddie Matthews sacrificed Felix to second, and Hank Aaron was intentionally walked.
So then Joe Adcock comes up with the 2 men on base, and he hits a line drive to right center field. So Felix Mantilla scores the run.
The Pirates and Haddocks lost the game, but not lost on history are the amazing 12 perfect innings that Harvey Haddock pitched without getting credit for a perfect game.
It's quite a letdown, I'll say that. As far as the no-hitter was concerned, I realized it, but I just wanted to win the game.
For him to lose that game, it was heartbreaking.
I don't think there's any second thought at all. That was the best game ever pitched.
How about some no-hit games this year, Johnny?
Well, I don't say I'm going to throw any, but I sure would like to.
And Cincinnati's Johnny Vandermeer did just that on June 11th, 1938. But what puts him at the top of this list is what he did the very next time out.
4 days later, they're playing in the first night game in the history of Ebbets Field.
1938 and 35,000 fans crowd Ebbets Field for the first night game in metropolitan New York's history.
This is Vandermeer's first start after his no-hitter in Cincinnati.
Thanks to the zealous promotion of Dodgers president Larry MacPhail, there was an enormous crowd on hand.
MacPhail kept selling tickets, and he didn't stop. And the fire department came in because he had them sitting in the aisles and you name it. I got up to warm up 3 times, and I had to sit down 3 times.
Well, the delayed start didn't seem to ruffle Johnny one bit, and it soon became apparent to the sold-out crowd that they were witnessing the impossible.
Something happened in that ballpark in Brooklyn that night, probably never happened before. From the 7th inning on, the Brooklyn fans were pulling for me. And in Brooklyn, they don't do that. And when I started the 9th inning, they were really pulling for me.
Going into the 9th inning, the Dodgers were hitless. Never before had a major league pitcher tossed 2 consecutive no-hitters.
I was busting the ball real good. I'd probably thrown the ball 95, 96, 97 miles an hour. If I was going to get beat, I was going to get beat on my strength.
The tension was electrifying. Vandermeer, facing baseball immortality, rose to the challenge, becoming baseball's man of the hour.
He finally gets the final out and he has pitched 2 consecutive no-hitters, a feat that no pitcher to this day has ever matched.
I sure never expected to pitch 2 no-run games in a row.
In baseball history, more than 250 pitchers have thrown no-hitters, some of them more than once. But only one man threw a no-no after throwing one his game before.
You know the record will never be broken? Johnny Vandermeer's 2 no-hitters in a row. Because you got to pitch 3. No one's going to pitch 3 no-hitters in a row.
Vandermeer's back-to-back no-nos have long been considered a feat that would never be matched. But in 2009, along came Mark Burley of the White Sox, who came close to doing him one better. On July 23rd against Tampa, Mark was simply perfect.
Swing shot to short.
Alexei! Yes!
He's fouled by his teammates. A perfecto. People going crazy here at U.S. Cellular.
Then in his very next start, Mark was perfect for another 5 2/3.
He gone.
Before his run at perfection personified came to an end.
And that will end the streak.
Well, a standing ovation for Mark Burley, and well-deserved.
Add to that the final batter he retired in his start before the perfect game, and he'd set a new Major League record by mowing down 45 consecutive batters.
A new Major League record by Mark Burley.
Indeed, a remarkable mark for Mark. That's our Prime 9. What's yours?